Hi, it's Ian from Salisbury FC, and welcome to Ask The Gaffer. Hi all, hope you're all well. Thank you so much for all your questions for this. Sorry it's taken us a bit of a while to get this together. Me and Steve have just been, it's just been hard to get us both free at the same time to get it done. So sorry for that. Thank you for your patience. But yeah, thanks so much for all the questions. There was loads, too many. So I've chosen a selection. There was nothing that was having a dig or anything like that. So there's nothing to avoid. It was just simply that there's too many. We'll be here all night. So I've taken a selection. Don't be disappointed if yours doesn't get through. It's nothing personal. It's just us randomly chosen a few. So thank you very much. And the only person that was brave enough to submit a video was Nigel Cullen. Thank you, Nigel. Very brave of you. But he submitted 3 questions. I'm only going to use 2 of them. There was a very passionate, how can I put it, piece to camera, shall we say, about the Southern League. And I've discussed it with a few people, and we just felt it could land us in a bit of hot water. So if we put it out through our channels, if you want to check out Nigel's thoughts, he talks about it regularly on Twitter. So check out @GrumpyNige on Twitter, and he will. You can see all his thoughts on there. So we're not covering anything up. It's just we could do without a fine, really. So we'll leave that one. So yeah, thank you very much. Loads and loads of questions. It's been a very good response, and all really good selection as well. You know, all quite positive mainly. So yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, welcome, Steve Claridge. How are you doing, Steve?
Not too bad, thank you, Ian.
Good stuff. We'll start with a question from Dominic Savage, who is also known as a certain panda. He's got a couple of questions. I don't want to spoil it for the kids. He's got a couple of questions for you. Out of all the clubs that you played for, where did you most enjoy your time playing football? You've been to a few places, haven't you?
No, it's not. It's not, because I enjoyed everywhere I played, mate. In all honesty, there wasn't. I mean, the best team I played in was Leicester. I had a fantastic time there. I played for my hometown, which was Portsmouth, which is, you know, I think everybody who's from a real football town, as passionate as they are, would want to do that. I had a Birmingham. When I moved to Birmingham, that kick-started the upward curve in my career. Obviously Millwall, and I was on a real low, went there and it was a fantastic move. Cambridge, I went through the leagues with Cambridge, could have been the only club to have gone from the bottom division to the top division consecutively, but we got beat in the playoff final against Leicester. So I've had some wonderful, wonderful times, I've got to say. It would be unfair to pick one club because, you know, for reasons known only to myself, I enjoyed every football club that I played for. You know, I'd like to think I gave everything, and I think people responded to that.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, every little, even in normal life, not just in football, every little bit kind of makes the story and makes you the person you are, doesn't it? So,
and every football club is different. You know, every club has its good parts and its bad parts, and you know, and it's funny parts and it's bits that don't quite work and the bits that do work very well. And I mean, it's just intriguing how, you know, every club works differently to the next. And, you know, sometimes you think, well, really, for this level they're doing that, or surely there's a better way than that. You know, I think sometimes it's a real eye-opener. But no, as I say, I loved every minute of it. And it's been very, very tough since I finished, I've got to say.
No, I bet. Right, absolute chancer for this one, Dominic Savage. If you would like to answer a few more questions like this about your experience, career, would you come on his podcast called the 90 Football Podcast, and he'll record it via Zoom with you? Would you?
Right. Yeah. It doesn't mean to say you've got to be 90 to be on it, does he?
I don't think he's quite saying that.
No. Okay. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Excellent. I'll put you in contact. I'll put a little link in for that as well, Dom, so people can
tell it. Make sure it's not one of his. Make sure it's not one of his grumpy days. All right, because he can be grumpy, can't he? At times.
We'll not allow that. That's a warning. That's a warning, Dom. There you go. So anyway,
make sure he's happy. Yeah.
You've got yourself a guest and you've got yourself a plug. So yeah, you better be happy on the day.
Good man.
One from Instagram here, from the username Bone5543. Is it true that at your time playing for Weymouth, you used cardboard for your shin pads?
Just for Weymouth?
Just for Weymouth. There's pictures of you not wearing shin pads.
Yeah, no, I did. I just took the fins out of the pads and pushed them down, and it's all psychological. Honestly, if I explained it to you, you'd think I'm an absolute lunatic. So I think we're best just to leave it there. But yeah, I know I didn't. I never made a tackle, mate, did I? So what do I need shin pads for?
Nobody got near you, did they? Eh?
No.
Next one is from our caterers. Actually, I think they've not said who it is out of the caterers. I think this one's Rachel, because we've got the two ladies that work in the kitchen.
Yes.
She's gone with best player you've ever coached. It's more about personality traits, desirable traits you have in players that you work with.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like players who are unselfish. I like players who are prepared to work hard. I like players who get the balance right between having a laugh and a joke and actually knowing when it's time to be professional and when it's time to be serious. I like players who give me everything, no matter what. Even if you're playing badly, you can have an effect on a game and a positive effect on a game, with or without the ball. So, yeah, good characters. Players who are not, you get a lot of, not a lot. It's not a lot. That's wrong of me to say that. There are one or two who maybe a little bit lacking in manners, a little bit of disrespect. You get that a lot of times when you're trying to sign someone. I was trying to sign someone the other day, and you're getting led up the garden path. You're just being used to get something somewhere else. Don't even return your calls, don't even return your texts. And you just think it's totally disrespectful. Even if he doesn't want to come, you can actually, there's nothing stopping you from picking up the phone or just sending a text saying, thanks for your interest, but I'm going to go somewhere else. But, to just ignore you. So that type of play you don't want anything to do with. And that's always the risk when you sign someone is, particularly at this level, you don't really know their character. It's a little bit of a shot in the dark. We got lucky last year. We had a really, really good side full of decent characters. And, that's why hoping, to retain most of them this season.
Brilliant. Another one from Instagram, Andy Oddinson. Do you keep an eye on the youth teams, see potential future Salisbury stars? Yeah.
I mean, I've been, 2 or 3 games, and obviously I'm in contact with Mark and his coaching staff. I think I like the way they're doing it. I must admit, I like the way they're doing it. It's it's not a results-based business. It is about progress. It's about kids learning how to play the right way, playing competitive football, because they and another good. He's got a good group there who want to win. Do you know what I mean? They'll win some games, they'll lose some games. That's what it's all about. But in the process, hopefully they're going to pick up good habits and learn what's required to play at the level we're at. So yes, I like the way that they're doing it, and we'll do everything we can to help him.
The dev squad's quite a young team as well at the minute, isn't it? So
yeah, absolutely. That's how it should be.
Bit of time for them to develop, and also they're playing against men quite often. So although they're a young team, they're in a men's league. So it's getting them used to the
absolutely. I mean, you hopefully they learn, they grow, they play together, they grow together, and they get better through that understanding of what is required. And I think we're doing it the right way. They're young, they're hungry, they're local lads. Let's be honest, the level we're at now, the bar's very, very high for anybody trying to get in the first team. But if we got one, I mean, my idea would be probably to get one every 2-3 years through the system. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. And if we can do that, there's no reason why we can't. Then it'd be a very, very worthwhile exercise.
Brilliant. Another one from Instagram from a young man called Sam Roberts. It's spelled Sam Roberts, but I'm guessing it's the player Sam Roberts. Who is the worst changing room DJ? clue. The answer is Jack Ball. Is it Jack Ball?
But I'm not absolutely sure, because Jack normally forgets that he's the DJ, you see. So I'm not sure. I don't think anyone's heard enough of Jack to really know that. I mean, we've got, this is how bright they are. We've actually got the responsibility for being the DJs with Jack, and Jack is probably the most forgetful person that you could ever wish to meet. Also, he's the busiest, and he has to travel the furthest. So it doesn't quite equate to to absolutely rocking sometimes.
So what's Sam Roberts' music taste like then?
Dreadful. Absolutely. I mean, that's why he's not the DJ, because he sits in the corner listening to this absolutely mindless rubbish that no one else can put up with. So I think it's very much a case of people in glass houses with Sam Roberts.
Spitting your back, Sam. Spitting your back. Right. So we've actually got a video question now from Nigel Cullen.
Hi. Thanks for the opportunity to submit some questions to Ask the Gaffer. What is the club thinking about doing reference season tickets for moving forward into the next season, bearing in mind that we only got to see 4 home league games in the curtailed season? And yes, I do need a haircut. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Nigel. I'll take that one on, actually. And yes, you do need a haircut. I've done a DIY job myself, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But yes, you do need a haircut, Nigel. Good luck with that one. Season tickets. This was obviously asked before the club put out the post a few weeks back about our plans for season tickets. We'd been working on the plan for a few months, and we were just waiting for FA ratification of the league's decision to void the season. And as soon as that came through, it was out, and we were probably out within 5 minutes of the news coming through. So yeah, if anybody needs any information on that, it is on our website, and I'll put a link in the description of this one, and you'll be able to find out all the news on season tickets for next season and the discount we're offering from last season. So we shall move on to Keith Quaintance. With the last 2 seasons not being completed, will the budget be affected for the upcoming season, i.e. less than previously, or will it be around the same?
I think it'll probably be a little bit less, but we're not a million miles off. So yeah, I mean, I think everybody has to understand that this has been a season where people have had to put their hands in their pockets. Well, one person has put his hand in his pocket as ever, and understandably, there is only a finite amount of financial backing that any one person can give. So I think we're all working hard to make sure that we make up for lost ground firstly, and and that we do what we can to make sure that we have enough funds available, and we accumulate enough funds to keep the majority of what we had, and then maybe add something along the way.
And hopefully getting a full season, it would make a huge difference, wouldn't it? It'd be brilliant.
It would. I think everybody would just know where they are, and instead of known revenue coming in, because it is important. The club does obviously does. The problem with us is that we have a ground that costs a lot of money, unless you've got football being played in it. It's a ground that's costing you a lot of money with no revenue coming in.
That's right.
And the ground still costs a lot of money, even whether you're playing or you're not playing. So that's the predicament we're in. So we've had 2 years, 18 months probably of not playing football. Now, our football club is driven by the football side and the supporters and the people who come through the turnstiles, because obviously, our gates are up there with everybody else with the 2 or 3 others in this league. So that's where the revenue is driven. So obviously, but when you haven't got ground being used, the ground is still costing us the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So that is the problem that we have. So yes, we need to get back. We need to get supporters through the turnstiles. We need to get revenue coming into the club, and obviously, and I absolutely know that that the chairman will do his absolute utmost, as he always does, to provide a budget that is going to be competitive, and there's no doubt he'll do that again this year.
Excellent. I've grouped these two together. They're kind of similar questions. So we've got Luke Thorndike and Alfie Gallagher. Luke's asked, what is the main target for the club next season? And Alfie has gone with, what is the overall goals for Salisbury? Where does he think he being you, where does he think we can get to in the next 5 years?
I think we would always be looking for to finish in and around the playoffs. I think that's something that we've got to look to do. I think people have got to understand that the way that we run the football club, there is no overdraft. It has to be run properly. Our budget would not be in the top 3, but it would be in the top 10, and it probably would be in the top 6. So that's around. You always pitch it around where you think you should finish, and that's around where we're going to be. I mean, there are some managers. There's 2 or 3 managers at this level who are earning, I would say, in the region of 2-3 times what our top paid player is on. So that gives you an understanding that other clubs are financially really, really punting in this league. So that they can attract equally as good, if not better, players than we can, because they're prepared to pay that that next level. But having said that, like I say, this club's got an awful lot to offer, and I hasten to add that there is a big pull at Salisbury Football Club. When I talk to people, I go, listen, we get 700 or 800 here. You come in here, and this is not just a football game. This is a proper occasion. This feels like a proper football match. You drive in, and the car park's full. There's an atmosphere. You can feel an expectation, and that thankfully, that's a real advantage that we have. That doesn't always go financially hand in hand, but as a pull for players, and this is where you get your good players who understand that and want to come and play in front of 700, 800 instead of 150 down the road, where yes, they can earn more money. There's no doubt about that. But this is what it's all about. For an extra 50 quid, do you want to give up the chance of playing for Salisbury on a nice pitch in front of 700 or 800, or do you want to go down the road and earn an extra 50, 100 quid and play in front of 150 people? Yeah. So there's always that, equation in the mix when you're talking to someone, and there's no doubt on occasions that's helped me to secure deals. So thank you very much to everybody who comes, because I don't think you realise that how big a part you play in securing good players at the football club.
And I've got to say, when you pull on that white shirt, and if you put a shift in, the fans will fall for you very, very quickly, and will welcome you. Yeah. And you don't need to give very much back. Give it a good go on the football pitch.
That's not too much
as you walk through the bar. And
not too much
you are loved by Salisbury FC fans, and they will scream your name for 90 minutes. So
it's not, as I say, giving 100% should be an absolute given, and that's what I'm saying about if you've got good characters. You've also got to get characters and players who can deal with pressure, because no matter what happens, and as much as we try and say, look, hold on a minute, we have no right to do well at this level. There are teams who have significantly bigger budgets. There are teams that can pay the next level up from us. But expectation will still be there because of what's gone on in the past at Salisbury Football Club, even though we are a very different club. So you've got to get players who can play in front of 700, 800 people. You've got to get in front of, you've got to get players who can live with the expectation that I bring, to the party as well, and what fans bring and what everybody brings at the football club. So that expectation is that, that we do go out there and we give a good account of ourselves every week, and that we stand our ground. And that there's some players who can't deal with that, some can, and you find that out very quickly.
Brilliant. And we've got another video question from Nigel Callum.
I just wondered what the thoughts are in terms of being able to keep the squad together that we put together for the now curtailed season, because that certainly looked to be one of the best we've had for a while, playing together, and we all had high hopes for where that was going to go.
And so also, there's obviously several questions asking about the squad for next year and from last year. So very similar questions were asked by Nick Drew, Colin Cooper, Keith Acquaintance, Richard Lovell, Richard James and Jason Bryce. Thanks all for your questions, guys. But so I've grouped them all together. They're all after an update for the squad and keeping the gang together from last year. What's the news looking like, Steve?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, we've still got some deals to conclude. There's no doubt about that. I mean, there isn't anybody who is going to obviously earn any more money this year. Everybody's got to understand that that's the way that the football club is. That's the way that football is. So yeah, I mean, I think most of the lads are aware that, and they're not expecting anything. I've spoken to 7 or 8. I've still sort of dealing with another probably 7 or 8. There will be probably 1 or 2 that leave for reasons, that I've spoken to them about. I think it'll probably be more so themselves than me, wanting to play more football possibly, which is understandable. But I think for the majority, I think we should be okay. I mean, as I say, there's 1 or 2 lads that are thinking about, what's been offered to them. Obviously, 1 or 2 are going to have to take a little bit of a drop, and that's just the way that it is. But no, I think on the whole, reasonably pleased. We've still got lots of work to do. We understand that, but yeah, I think there's 7 or 8 that we've got sorted and accounted for, and we'll try and get 7 or 8 more done over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
I've just had some breaking news sent to me by Doug Ferrero, our secretary. So we can say that Antonio Diaz, Charlie Davis, Harry Baker, Marvin Brooks, Charlie Kennedy, Ollie Knowles, and Sam Roberts have agreed and have extended their contracts until for next season.
Yeah.
So they're the guys that have agreed. So there's obviously the rest of the squad is still working on that are staying. Yeah.
Yeah. Still, they will. They've all been made offers, and they're all having time to think about it and see what they want to do, and and where they want to go, and hopefully, the majority will put pen to paper and sign. And there is, there's still room for improvement. There's still room for manoeuvre. Even last year, there were a couple of disappointing games that, primarily in the cups that we possibly might have done better in. There are games, certainly Western at home for half an hour. We got a little bit of a chase in. Bracknell in the cup was tough, albeit I'm not going to put too much on that because as we said, there were extenuating circumstances for that game that we all know about. But yes, I mean, on the whole, really pleased with what we did. It's the best start we've had for many a year, certainly under me. And it's absolutely gutting and disappointing that we were right up there. We could have gone top if we'd beaten Gosport on the Tuesday, and it would have been already you were looking at and thinking, hold on a minute. I mean, you looked at the likes of Western, who was no doubt going to cause a lot of teams problems, and we were 12 points ahead of them. And we've been in that situation here. We've been there where you're playing catch up, and for 3/4 of the season, there's pressure on you and trying to win games, every week, and then and something might happen. You get an injury or something, and it's very, very tough at this level. And there are no easy games. We've seen that. So to play catch up at this level is difficult. And I just got the feeling last year that if we got our foot on the gas and we got established. And we were in amongst it from the start. I really did think that, with the consistency and the squad that we had, that we would win enough games from now till the end of the season to be competitive, and that's ideally what we need to do. So it'll be important that we start the season again well next year to give us that chance, because you've seen what happened the year before. A couple of teams start winning and they don't stop winning. And in the end, it's impossible to catch them. So, we'd like to think if we can get started and we start well, then we've got a real chance.
And just to be clear, that list of 7 names, that's just the people that the paperwork is all agreed with now. It's not everything that's gone on. It's just they're the ones that we can actually say because it's all agreed. Right. Thank you very much, Steve. That's all. That's your interrogation over. And I've got to say this, both me and Steve like to do updates as much as possible. This one was actually Steve's idea. He wanted to do this. We were chatting about something else on the phone. He was like, "Oh, Ian, it's time we did a video, didn't you?" So here we are. So yeah, thanks very much for joining us, and I hope everybody's well out there, and we look forward to seeing you all soon.
We'll keep trying to give updates as we go. Once every 2 or 3 weeks, we'll keep giving updates for fans. And obviously, if anybody wants, can think of any questions that they want asking, as we go forward, then obviously get in contact with you, mate, and we can get them answered. No problem.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone. Stay safe.
Cheers.